Drop the brace.
What's up guys, it's Ryan here, and today I'm going to be doing kind of like a synopsis on The World Wakes, which I did today. So basically how it all starts is you go to Orlando Smith, and he is west of the Legends Guild, and he's found some kind of cave, and he can't open the doors, so he asks for some muscle, and that's where you come in. You go and you open the doors for him, and you venture down into the cavern. In the first cavern, he just wants to like find something that he can bring back to the museum, but you eventually just keep going further and further, and eventually the shadowy figure that has been appearing in RuneScape like all week, he pops up, and you talk to him and you find out that he is Slisky, I don't know how to say it. He is the Barrows guy, the guy that made all the Barrows brothers and tried to turn you into one in ROTM. And what he explains is that when you sounded off the alarm when you were going into the cavern, that it kind of woke up the entire world. All of the God Wars generals came out of God Wars and the dungeon, and like all of the there are like strange like statue kind of looking things around RuneScape. Like I know one of them you have to walk around in a circle for the Seer's Elite Diary. They're all going off right now, and so the God Wars generals come out and they come to where you are, and Zamorak and Saradomin, they want to kill Guthix, which is, you're in the Chamber of Guthix. The deeper you go, the further you'll get to finding Guthix. Saradomin and Zamorak want to kill Guthix because Guthix, he found the Stone of Jas, and the Stone of Jas gave him the power over the other gods, and one of his edicts was that the gods can't come on RuneScape anymore. So obviously Ziliana and Krilsutareth, they want to kill Guthix so that Saradomin and I guess Zamorak can come back onto RuneScape. Zeros, who that's where most of the Majorat are either Zamorak or Zeros, but and then things like Nex and Char, they want to wake up Guthix and talk to him. But then as you get further into the cave, you find that the Guthix protectors of Guthix, whatever they're called, they don't want to do anything. They just want to protect Guthix. That's all. They don't want to wake him up. They don't want to talk to him. The protectors of Guthix, it's like Death, Shaelder, that turtle thing from the Pest Queen boss, the tutor for Fist of Guthix, yeah, the other people, Juna, and basically all of you go down further into the cave because they know that Guthix chose you specifically, your character specifically, to do something great. And so you go further down, and eventually all of the other gods, it's kind of like the next God Wars almost. All of the other gods' minions, they come down and they fight, and it's basically like just an hour of fighting. You have to fight General Grador. You don't have to fight Ziliana, but you have to fight Krilsutareth, Anakra, and Zamorgriel. I think that's how you say his name. And then after a while, you finish, they all retreat, but Ziliana is still there, and she is trying to kill Juna, who is hid behind like a barricade of some sort, and you have to protect Juna. And eventually, after you've protected Juna for a while, some more of Zeros' followers come, like Nex and Char, and they're kind of arguing, and then something kind of like explodes from behind you, which is where Juna was standing, and that the hole opened up to where Guthix is sleeping. And so everyone just kind of keeps fighting, and you go into the hole where Guthix is, and you don't really get to see him that much in the specific part, what happens is you look at him and he kind of like sees you and you see him, and then I think it was Slisk or whatever. He uh has, it looks like the staff of Armadillo. I don't know if it is or something, but he kills Guthix, and in Guthix's last, dying words or whatever, he uses the last of his power to bring you back to where he was born, and he kind of like walks you through where he lived, and he tells you about what's going on. And he kind of talks about how he brought everyone to RuneScape, which we already knew from meeting history or making history. I don't remember which one. And Guthix, when you walk through the path, eventually he gets to his house, and in his house he has like a bed, and he just kind of lays on his bed, and he's like, "I'm gonna give you my power," and then he's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I mean, like, you have a choice throughout the whole thing. You can choose whether you want to side with Zeros, side with Zamorak and Saradomin. Well, I guess it just said neither. Or you can side with Guthix. And I chose Guthix personally. So Guthix kind of gives you his power, and he dies. And he's like, the world has to be protected by a mortal. And he said, I've been the most powerful thing in Gielinor for the longest time. And it's about time that, something else. He knew that he was going to die. He just accepted death. He could have easily just killed Slisk. So then after Guthix kind of says his last words to you and dies, you appear back outside the kind of space room, and Saradomin appears, because now that Guthix is dead, his edicts are gone, and that means that the other gods can come onto the earth. And Saradomin, he tries to, he teleports away, Zeros and pretty much all of the Zeros followers, I think it was. And he tries to teleport you away, and he's like, oh, I can't. And because Guthix gave you his powers, you're more powerful than Saradomin at this point, I'm assuming. And you're just kind of like, oh, Guthix gave me this power, blah, 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 and I'm not sure what, you have an option. It's like, I'll give you all of my power, or I don't want to have anything to do with you. And I just kind of said, I don't know what to think of you yet. And he's like, alright, fair enough, blah, blah, blah. You should leave because we have much work to do. And that's pretty much where the quest ends. Overall, it was a really, really, really interesting quest. I really liked it. The puzzles were not so bad. After I finished out the rolling ball one, it wasn't bad at all. And I thought the combat, it was what it was supposed to be, because you have to realize it wasn't for max people with Torva and shit, which is what I did it with. It was for level 140 combat, and they wanted everyone to do it. And now I understand why, because in the not the behind the scenes, the main page for the update, they said, starting next week, everything that happens in RuneScape will assume that this quest happened in the past. And so it is, game changing, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see where they're going to go with this, and I really can't wait until the next quest. Overall, I'd give it a 12 out of 10. So the quest gives a shitload of experience, but what I was most interested was the new ultimate abilities. Basically, they have the balance strike, which is kind of like pain split from Pokemon, and then they have this mage and ranged ability that you summon a cloud around you and you do more damage while you're in the cloud, and people who try to come in the cloud get damage upon them. The defensive one and the hit points one seem pretty useful. It's kind of like Rejuvenate on crack. So we'll see how it is. And so anyway, that's kind of a small plot synopsis. I know I'm missing a lot of stuff, but I can't really think of what it is, because I did do the quest a while ago. If you have any questions or anything, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later.